Hello friends, welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make barbecue chicken sandwiches with coleslaw. So what you see on my counter is what we're going to use to make these, and you do have the option of changing, mixing this up or whatever, and it's still going to be a really great barbecue to eat. The coleslaw is an option. If you don't like coleslaw, you don't have to have this on your barbecue sandwich. Provolone cheese, I'm using this. You could substitute anything in from American to Swiss or even mozzarella slices if you wanted to. And again, I have 3 pieces of chicken here. This is going to be enough where you could probably make at least 7 sandwiches out of this whole deal. If you have a bigger family, you can literally double this or whatever, because if you don't use all of this once you've mixed it up, you can actually put the barbecue chicken into the fridge and warm it up again another day and use it. It can be good in the refrigerator for a couple of days at least. So it's kind of one of these things you can add, subtract, change as you want to go. And at the end of the day, you're going to have great barbecue regardless of what you do to it. But this is what I'm doing with mine here. And literally, we're just going to work our way through this starting now. So let's go ahead and cut the fat off of our chicken, because we don't want any of the fat, chewy stuff, anything, or any of the hard edges ending up in the barbecue. So we want to just cut it off as we go, get it out of here, and do this for each one of the pieces. And once we get the fat cut off, we're not cutting the chicken up at all. We're literally just cutting off the fat, because we're going to cook these whole, and then later after they're cooked, we're going to bring them back and shred them up and then cook them a little longer. So that way we actually are going to get this totally cooked through, but we're also going to cook the barbecue into the chicken. So make sure you've gotten all the fat off of these, and then you're going to need a large size skillet, which we're going to put in there, I would say at least 3 tablespoons of olive oil or whatever oil you like to cook with. It really doesn't matter what type of oil it is, it's your choice. And we get that in there. We want to put this on medium-high heat and get the pan warming up as the chicken is going into it, so that way the chicken starts cooking after it's right in there. So go ahead and add your chicken side by side in the pan, so that way we can get cooking. Now, once we get our chicken in, we are going to season this. And this is one of those things where the chicken itself is going to have a great flavor before the barbecue even hits it. So we're going to start off with 1 teaspoon of chicken seasoning. And we're going to get a good coating going on the chicken. Just spread it around all over the top, because in the end it really doesn't matter. When we go to cut this up, the seasoning is going to mix through everything anyway. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of paprika and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Again, coating all the way over the top. And then next we're going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder. And just shake those all over the top of it. And what we're going to do is cook this until the chicken is cooked through. Should be probably around 10 or 11 minutes. And you're going to turn it as you're cooking it. So I let it cook on the side that's down right now for at least 3 minutes or so before I flip it. And just turn it a couple of times just to get it to cook through. Now, if you want to take a fork and run over the top and even out that seasoning, that is all on to you. But you can know that in the end of this, we're going to cut this up and it's all going to mix through anyway. So while that's cooking, we're going to mix up some barbecue. So we have 3/4 of a cup of honey barbecue to start with, which I use Sweet Baby Ray's, and we're adding 2 tablespoons of chili sauce to this. And once we're done with that, we're going to end up adding a tablespoon of minced garlic. And we're using mince, we're not using any kind of powder or anything like that. We're going for actual pieces of garlic. And we're going to get that in there, and then afterwards we're using 1/2 teaspoon of Kingsford Cajun seasoning. Now this stuff is going to give it a kick. It's going to make it a little spicy, but it's not overpowering. It's just enough to heat it up and give it a flavor. And we're going to mix this all together, because we're going to use this in a minute after we cut up our chicken, after it comes back after like the 10 to 11 minutes of cooking. So set the sauce aside, and we're going to take the chicken and cut it up. And we're going to slice through this and just pulverize it basically into bits. Now mind you, this is not completely done on the cooking phase. This is going to go back into the pan again. So go ahead and cut it up as best you can, and then when it goes into the pan, this is going to allow the inside to not only cook a little more, but also to get the barbecue sauce onto it and actually give it some flavor. So we're just basically trying to cut this up into thinner slices, cut those up even to smaller pieces, so that way it can go back onto a bun later and not be, you know, really huge hunks of chicken. We want to actually cut down. So keep cutting and then bring out your next breast and continue to cut on that as well, because by the time you're done, you're going to have a lot of chicken in front of you if you have the 3 breasts in it like I had, because it does add up to a lot when you're done. And as you can see right here, this is a whole lot. So what we're going to do is put it back into the pan that we had it in before, let it start cooking, and then we're going to add the barbecue sauce that we mixed up on top of it and stir it through. Now, mind you, when this gets into the pan and everything's going, we're going to cook this for at least another 5 minutes to give that barbecue sauce time to actually get in there, cook in, and do what it needs to do. So get your chicken in the pan, get it distributed using the same pan we had before. You don't need to worry about cleaning it because it's already had the chicken in it. And we're just going to mix this around a little bit, break it up some if there are any large pieces, and then go ahead and add that barbecue sauce. So like I said, about 5 minutes. Now once the sauce is in here, we're going to stir this around a lot to get everything coated, because it's going to take a minute to get it all over all these chicken pieces because there's a lot. So go ahead, get every bit of that out of whatever you mixed it up in. I just used a measuring cup because it was easier. And then just move it around and do what you got to do with it. Now, as you're cooking this, the best thing about this is you're actually adding more flavor to the chicken with the barbecue sauce, because, you know, we already seasoned it. Now we're giving the barbecue to it. It's actually just going to have the best taste, because it's one of those things that, you know, you're just adding flavor on flavor on flavor, and it just turns out to be something really terrific. So stir this around quite a bit because we want to make sure that everything gets totally coated. Now the sauce will stretch completely through this, and as it cooks, it'll actually just marinate all through the whole chicken. And as you can see, this looks really terrific because it's not overloaded with sauce. You want enough to coat it and give it flavor, but I'm not going for, you know, totally dripping off of everything kind of sauce. I just want it coated and flavored. And that's what we've got here with this. So this is actually working out quite well. So like I said, you were doing that for 5 minutes, and then we're going to get ready to use this. So we have our buns, we have our cheese, and what we're going to do is just basically spoon this on top of it. You don't have to heat up the cheese because of the fact that this chicken is still hot. This came out of the skillet just a little while ago. And that's working. Gotta warn you though, you know, it's barbecue. It's a barbecue sandwich. It's just prone for mess. You will drip some on yourself. Be careful when you eat it, because even though it's not loaded with sauce, yeah, this is something you're piling on a bun. It can fall off, and it will, but it tastes that good. It doesn't really matter. So we're just going to go ahead and add all of this onto it, and you can put as little or as much of the barbecue chicken on this as you want. It's your choice. You're eating it. You know, I just try to put it on there in a way where it's a decently large amount, but it's manageable. And then once you get it all on there, you want to flatten it out a little bit, because we're going to add coleslaw on top. Now, if you don't like coleslaw, you don't have to add it. That's okay. But if you do, this has such a great taste on top of this barbecue because it just works. And I just bought some coleslaw out of the store because it's just one of those things where it's just so easy to get it and it's so quick. So this makes this a really fast meal because you just make the chicken, you get the rest of it from the store, and you're ready to eat this. So once we got it all together there, we're just going to basically put a lid on it and we are ready to eat. And mine looks something like this. And this really had a wonderful taste and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that you will too. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out the Southern Mountain Kitchen website where you can look at books that are available from the Southern Mountain Kitchen. You could also get a free recipe, or you can get a deal on buying a cookbook where you actually get it lower than the price on Amazon and the shipping is less than Amazon. So it's a great deal all the way around. Have a great day.